All right, so welcome to chemistry. So let's start off with a basic definition of what is chemistry. So chemistry is defined as the study of matter. So in this case, our matter is just stuff. So chemistry is the study of all stuff. So anything you can touch or feel is chemistry. So let's take a look at this in terms of an analogy. So the analogy I like to use is, you're watching TV, and obviously there's a picture on the TV. In this case, you got this little house on an island. And so what would happen if you took a piece of this picture and you zoomed in on it? So if we zoomed in on one little section of this picture, what would we see? So if we zoom in over here in this kind of yellow section, what you might expect to see is a yellow blob or a yellow block. But what happens when we zoom in even further on this yellow? So what colors or what is this TV made out of? So most TVs are made out of LEDs, and these LEDs can either be red, green, or blue. So we can see our zoomed in LEDs. So you can see the further and further you zoom in, the more and more kind of simple and fundamental you get. So out of just these three colors, red, green, and blue, we can make different colors such as this yellow, and then we can combine these different colors into different images like this house on this island here. And so you can think about chemistry in the same way. Say, for example, if we had a glass of water. So here's our glass of water. And water in this case is our matter. And we're just going to define matter as just stuff. So anything that's stuff is matter. So what happens when we zoom in on this water? Well, when you zoom in on this, what you would see is some molecules. And some molecules of water would be H2O. And these are what it would look like. And so H2O would be the zoomed in version. This is a molecule. And basically, atoms are held together by chemical bonds to form molecules. And we won't go into what a chemical bond is right now, but we'll go through that later on, right? So just like you can zoom in on the picture to get a yellow color, you can zoom in on this glass of water to get a molecule of water. But what happens when we zoom in even further on one of these? Well, when we zoom in even further, what we would see is an atom or an element. And our atom slash elements are the building blocks of our universe. And so in our case, our atoms and elements are made out of a nucleus. It's the central part of the atom, and inside this nucleus are our protons and our neutrons, which we'll learn about later. And then surrounding the nucleus are our electrons. So you can see the analogy here. Just like these three simple colors can make all kinds of different colors, our simple atoms can make up complex molecules. And then just like this yellow can combine with other colors to make a picture, our molecules can combine together to make matter, to make stuff. And so in the case of our universe, we have more than three elements, right? This LED only has three colors, but our universe has more than three elements. And to identify our elements, we can use a periodic table of elements. And so this picture here just shows you a periodic table. And so this shows you all the basic elements of our universe. So everything in our universe are made out of these elements. And these elements can combine in different ways to form different compounds. So in this left picture here, we have graphite. And so you can see graphite is just made out of these little black balls. Those are carbon elements, elements of carbon or atoms of carbon. And so you can see here when the carbon is in this structure, you get graphite just like in your pen. But then you see the structure of diamond. Again, it's still just carbon. And in this case, it forms diamond, which has drastically different properties than graphite. So not only does it matter what element you have, it depends on the bonding as well. And then you can combine some other elements in there. So now we have carbon and hydrogen, and these make plastics, right? So plastics are super important in our life. And so not only do we want to study these elements and these molecules, we want to be able to control them, because if we can control these elements and these molecules, we can then control matter itself. So we'll write control atoms / molecules, control matter. And that's basically the idea behind chemistry.